I mean, the camaraderie, you know, of guys, lifelong friends. This is such a great gig for us, you know, having seen each other for so long. I mean, you know, we're as rusty as anything out there, and I've just turned up out of the blue, really. But when we start playing, it all feels very natural and very organic. I think all those years on the road, you know, you get to know each other. It's like to me, a lot of things you do in life is you undervalue that sort of personal relationship you have with somebody. That's why it works. That's why it feels good. Why even it's successful. If you have standing along beside someone in anything and you don't like them, you know, it's probably not really going to turn out well. But so we all got on so well. I mean, I used to enjoy the studio. The studio was always, you know, I felt like it was more my domain. Keyboard players inherently struggle on the stage. They can't hear each other. I remember one gig I had to throw my jacket over the fold back because I was hearing somebody extremely loud. I couldn't hear. Because with a guitar player, he's got an amp behind him, so if he's playing, at least he can hear himself. But with a keyboard player, you know, you might not hear anything. You just hope that you're playing the right notes. And maybe you are, maybe you're not. Yeah. But yeah, look, the thing that I liked about the studio is the precision and the way that everything's got to be done on time. But in saying that the studio I enjoyed it more. The thing about a live gig was that, you know, if you played a couple of wrong notes or you're a little bit out of time, that wasn't what it was all about. So that side, two very different sides of music, two very different sides of the band, I think. So good fun. Just don't remember. It's weird. Every time I've come over, Neil will say, "Oh, did you remember?" And I just go, "No, I don't." It's kind of bizarre. You're still recording? I remember going up to, we had an agent and they were in North Sydney, and I remember that we hadn't eaten properly, And I remember I was like sitting there waiting to have a meeting with the agent and had a bowl of nuts there. And I just was like eating all the nuts. I was so hungry. But, oh yeah, I seem to remember all the bad things. I remember when we came to our first gig in King's Cross, someone had OD'd on the footsteps. So we were lugging gear over a dead person. Yeah, that was fun. I think the stark difference between touring in New Zealand and then trying to make it in Australia. I mean, Australia would be, you could say the same thing going from there and trying to make it in America. You know, it's just on another level. But yeah, it was kind of playing in New Zealand on the bus and touring around. We're just like big kids having fun, you know. Very big kids. Sometimes having a little bit too much fun.
Seemed alright?
Yeah, that was quicker than I thought. I thought we were going an hour, but it doesn't need to go any longer, does it?
No, we shortened it because we thought if you have quite a big build up at the start, like you just go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, there were all different dynamics there. Neil and I used to do a lot of it sort of away from everybody else, and a couple of the other guys would do it. And yeah, and we had some that were just a band song as well. Yeah, all different ways. Actually, Neil and I were talking about on the way that it probably suffered a little bit from, you know, I have this feeling that most songwriters that I see are like poets, and it's, you know, the vocals and the music are very strong to one, and they're so close that they almost need to be, you know, they need to be done by the same person. They certainly need to be someone in the same headspace. Whereas, you know, I try, even in what work I do now, I mean, the music is trying to go with picture, but, you know, if Neil would be singing lyrics, we had lyrics, I'd be trying to make the music not just chords that sounded good, but they actually were saying the same thing that the song was. You know, if it's a love song, it's got to sound like it, it's got to sound the kind of emotion that it's trying to say. But yeah, so no, all different ways that, you know, a couple of the other guys, that's probably a good way to write more a song, but maybe not necessarily a, you know, kicking along rock song. So, yeah, different ways.
So I'll just do that first verse. At the end of all, is anything around all. When the day is all gone, what will tomorrow be like it gone? Yeah.
That works, doesn't it?
That's the first one down.
That kind of works.
Yep. I'm happy.
Do we? Don't we have another whack at it, do we?
Why
Do you
don't
see
we,
what-
why don't we go? Why don't we do the next song?
Yeah.
We'll do them all twice.
Do them in all in order. Yep.
Do you see what we decided about the vocal, that unison? 30, almost shouted,
Yeah.
a bit blokey kind of thing,
Yeah.
instead of doing flowery harmonies.
Flowery,
Yeah.
I suppose it's starting to show, yeah.
The The ending of the thing.
He's a
that I was
professional,
playing
just come
on
straight in.
This starting to show us shit. What was I thinking? So,
What when you were doing
the starting to show.
Yep.
Do you want something moody? Is that what you were thinking, Peter?
For which song?
Starting.
Starting to show. I was thinking like when we used to have like a subsonic low
Pad.
You would come in with a real low.
That one doesn't go any lower than that.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. You want to do the bass?
I can't sing and do it at the same time.
No, but you won't need to. Just a good start.
Anytime. Nice.
And then you'll say your thing. And then
Hang on. You're going to need to give Dave.
I'll count.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll stay in with the pad
Yeah.
until you come in, then I'll come
And
out.
then you'll come out.
And then I start with the piano and
Perfect.
sing. How's
Yeah,
that?
okay.
That works. So.
And then it does that. So it does that around again, and then it goes. And just do that one more time, and then we're out. Yeah, because 4 is too long. And only do one chorus instead of 2 at the end.
I think so. I think
Because
chorus
that
is
whole
it's far better.
is quite cool at the end to make it padded out.
Yeah. And you know, like you could leave the start before you bring the melody in to give him the hook.
The very start.
You could leave
Yeah,
that melody.
I did. I left it out. Yeah.
Yeah, leave it out, and then just when you want to,
Yeah.
it'll build, and then he will then start.
Yeah.
So, as we were rehearsing in Gibbston Valley, we were getting closer to the gig at the Civic, and we hadn't played together for 35 years, but it was all coming together pretty well. Although we didn't have our bass player, it was just a 4-piece. Paul and Sutho flew in from Sydney, and it was kind of all very last minute, but it was sounding pretty good and we were pretty confident. We just had to, Dave was a professional ring-in bass player who was standing in for Neil Burns, so we weren't concerned about that, although he didn't know the songs. I mean, that was the thing. He had never heard these songs before, and he had to learn them pretty quickly, which he did. So that was the only slightly worrying aspect of it, heading into it. The night before the gig, in front of 1,000 people, we had not jammed as a full band. At that stage, the keyboard player, Sutho, had not met the bass player. So it was interesting.
I haven't even unpacked my suitcase yet. I won't you?
No.
In inverted commas, you've had your whack, wouldn't have kind of.
No.
Probably.
The reason we say that to the camera is that that's what he used to say all the time.
Yeah.
And
Come
it was,
on, you've had your work.
And it was usually when he was getting rid of a girl that had slept with him the night before.
Righto, you've had your
Right,
whack.
you've had your whack. Away you go.
Well, it was very him just like shutting the door on whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't want to know about this anymore.
It's
No.
over.
It's over.
It's over.
Which is why it's sort of.
That'll be the letters.
That'll be the letters.
You
Oh,
remember
no.
the leather pants?
Actually,
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but you had my room that night.
Did I?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
this
okay.
was
This was something
taking
else
the
anyway.
leathers off.
No,
because the
but-
lights were all out.
No,
they hit
you
the
see.
floor, and
Yeah.
Burnsy said that'll be the leathers. Kidding the deck.
Because they had a certain weight
Yeah.
when they hit the floor.
And particularly when you hit full of sweat.
I can't believe it's weather, you know.
Isn't this glorious? This is
Gorgeous,
Southland,
yeah.
mates. It's like this every time.
No, generally not the weather in the cargo, but there you
No,
go.
it's
No.
not the weather
Here
for
you are.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We're
Yeah.
going to do you proud tonight, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
Today's your day. It's his day as well, isn't it? Let's
It
face
is.
it is, yeah. Your bass will be there.
Yeah.
And that's us. And then we bow for the applause.
Yeah. We're going to put the drum solo.
Oh, do that then.
Well, the whole thing's a drum solo.
At the end,
You
we
can
sing
go for
guitars.
keyboards on it.
Ka-changs and boom trishes and washes, yeah.
Boom jams.
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever you do. You know, all that keyboard stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mystery.
It's not his area.
It's a mystery to me too. Do you want to? I suppose we better.
We better get to
it anyway. If we're running on time. There's no time for pleasantries here. It's all
No.
business.
We're on a tight ship. No, the jacket we've got, it's a denim jacket that Neil used to wear. You know, he used to sometimes wear denim Levi jackets.
Over the top of the.
He did the double denim.
Yeah, he did the double denim. So I've got that.
It's not
And
the
I've
one
just-
with the fur collar.
Fur collar, like a wool collar. So I thought, well, that's what we use. It's the only one we've got.
The leathers I used to wear belong to you.
Did they?
Yeah. You started wearing something else, right? You gave me the leathers.
Oh, okay.
Because you were slightly bigger, I used to chuck them in the dryer. And they come in perfect. Shrunk.
Had a slightly bigger package. Was it?
No, I wouldn't say that.
No,
Probably
You'd never say
in the
that.
legs.
in the legs.
Something like
Yeah. No. Well, I couldn't have worn leathers. I mean, they wouldn't have lasted. They'd have rotted out.
So you know what I mean? So like you got to. I think originally you did it sort of like.
Why don't I just stay out for a bit there? Just even longer.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
Once you've done the sub thing,
Yeah.
just stay out,
Okay.
and then we'll sit on that for a bit, and then when you come in, it'll just.
Well, you'll cue me when you wanna come singing in.
Is that when you're going to come in?
Yeah.
So he'll come in first to do the melody.
Yeah. What you mean for the verse?
So we'll
Yeah,
sit
when
on
the start of the
melody
vocals,
for a
yeah.
bit. You say the thing
Yeah.
over this,
La la.
and then when he starts the bass, he'll drop out.
Yeah, I couldn't quite hear you. So is it a funky sort of a?
Yeah, I said just like that's what Paul's doing.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah.
That was good to do.
Well, it's good that we had an inappropriate conversation
Yeah,
beside
yeah,
you
of
because
course.
we used to do that all the time.
Absolutely.
He did drive a good bus, I'll give him that.
He did drive a good
He
bus.
was a good driver.
I never
wasn't he?
drove the bus. I really
You never
did
got
the
to
deal.
drive it.
I never drove it.
The only time I
want it.
drove
I
it
didn't want
was to take him to the doctor, and that's all I'm saying.
Right, okay.
I took you to the doctor
Oh,
one
just
day.
shoot.
I'm
There you
driving
go.
you to the doctor, and you go.
And you drove it. You used to drive it.
Did I drive it as
You
well?
drove it in Colorado, I remember that.
Okay.
You drove it too, didn't you?
I used to drive it all the time.
I never drove it. I didn't want to. I had no desire to drive the bus.
Neil and Chris Simmons drove it into a tree.
into a poo tree at the bottom of the Hopi Hill.
I wasn't with you. I left. I wasn't in
I
there.
don't think I was there either. I don't
You
remember
were.
that.
You were there.
You
Was
and I
I?
were in the
What,
back.
was all
of
the stands
I
fell
had
down
to pick
on
off all
Hitcher.
the wedges off your
I
head.
don't remember it. Why don't I remember this?
I don't know.
Because
You
you
wouldn't
got hit
forget
on
something
the
like
head.
that.
You had a head injury.
Head injury.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
It's because you weren't taking the right drugs.
The whole,
That's
the whole
not
man
enough.
fell on his head.
Funny.
So what was officially our first gig with you, Paul? Do you remember?
Yeah, that was New Plymouth, the West something or other.
West Town.
West Town.
Yeah, where Simmons used to hijack the sound meter thing, didn't he? So we
He
were
did
so
that
loud.
in
No, Gisborne.
Gisborne. He did that.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, we got
Sandown.
We got sacked, didn't we?
Yeah, we got escorted out of town with the feds.
There's some theft of
Don't
some
come back.
hotel laundry or something. There's
Neil went through
towels.
our room.
Spoons,
And
probably.
A flag was missing from the flagpole, which wasn't us.
No,
But
they blamed
took
everything on us
towels
after that.
out of Neil's bag. They went through his bag illegally,
Yeah.
and he'd pinched towels, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Anything that wasn't screwed down.
Yeah, you hear that? You hear
Roll over Beethoven.
that? Towels.
No less. No less.
You'll flog something, man. Make it money. Easy.
1997, so we're...
So, yeah, 1997, man, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
20 years. So it's kind of also another landmark year, you know? 20 years since
Yeah. Well, it
we've
is,
been
isn't it?
without him.
I wonder what his attitude would be to something like this if he was still around.
Oh, he'd love to be involved in
Yeah,
this.
wouldn't he?
You and I could be alone tonight.
And I'll just do the normal. What are your thoughts? Have you got another idea?
No.
No. Do I have to sing?
That's pretty much the same.
Must I?
It's hard to get anybody to sing in this band, except for you.
All right. Well, we'll move on to UFOs, and we'll come back to that.
Sound for that. Bit of a funny kind of way he always was with the business, wasn't he? You know what I mean?
Well-
all the joking aside,
Yeah.
he was quite. It's that, you know, we make jokes about you've had your whack, but
Yeah.
he was like close the deal. You can imagine him closing the deal. He'd be like, okay, let's you know.
Well, I tell you, we have to thank him because he was the driving force that got us to Australia. Because although musically, you know, he was more simpler than some, you guys in musical talent, you know, he was the one that, you know, that pushed us.
Let's go to Australia.
Let's go to Australia. He made all
I would
that.
have thought it was you now, was it?
Well, of course that, you know, we had the demos and they got sent away and the interest, but Neil was the nuts and bolts. Okay, we got it. You know,
We're gonna need a
let's
car,
get a
we
flag.
need to go to Australia,
And he had
get
all
the flag.
those things organised. He was the driver. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
set up the stage.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. There's
Yeah.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But when you think about all the things that have happened to us that stemmed from that thought to move to Australia.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
I, mean,
life-changing.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't go to Australia. I know
No.
that, I know that
Yeah,
for
me
a
neither.
fact. Neither would Paul.
Yeah.
No. So in a funny kind of way, he is
Instigated that.
where we all ended up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and of course there are other things along the way, but
Yeah, but he was the one, if you
got
had
to
an
start
idea,
from
like,
somewhere.
you know, you might have the idea of, we'll contact John Anderson or whatever, and got that together, but he's the one saying, okay, you've done that right, that's it, we need to do this part to get it there.
Yeah.
You come in and do that.
Yeah.
How are you going to get around? We need a fucking car, so...
Boom.
And
You
that's
get a car,
why.
you get a car.
Yeah, you get a
make
car,
it happen.
otherwise, I don't know, what sword, you know.
And that's how he
He
did so
wouldn't go,
well.
what sword? He said, you need a station wagon, obviously, and go and get it.
So you
What
can
was
get
it?
gear.
Oh, station wagon.
What sort of
It was
station
a Ford.
wagon?
It was a
Yeah.
Ford.
It was orange.
Orange.
I thought it was Valiant.
Right. I knew it was a Ford.
And Wayne Tracy bought it, didn't he?
Did he?
It
Did
was
he?
a rust bucket at the end.
Oh man.
Oh, he bought it when it was.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was,
But thank God it was auto, so you could, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
drive it round Sydney
Yeah.
and not have to change gear and all that traffic.
all that travelling out to Farrell's music.
Oh,
Brookvale.
Brookwell.
Yeah.
I've had a bad day too, Neil. Remember that?
Hey?
He was climbing into
Barry?
Farrell. What was his
Barry.
first name? Barry Farrell.
Yeah.
Because he had
Farrell.
all that kit made,
Yeah.
the big bass rig,
Yeah.
and they
Way to tell.
changed the phase. One box had a different phase, and so it was just shit.
Yeah.
And so Neil demanded him come over, and he came in. What's wrong? And Neil was doing his balls.
Yeah.
And Barry Farrell said, "Look, Neil, I've had a bad day too."
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's where it came from.
Yeah. But I remember when we got the Marshalls and Neil said, oh, I'll get one too, I've got a bass Marshall. We brought him home and that, he took us in the room and that, plugged it in, and he came out, I don't know, 10 minutes later, said, no, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work, not going to work, looks great, but it's not going to work. You know, so pull it straight out the boot. And I just kept the stack.
You keep your stack.
Yeah.
What about a Moog?
Oh, yeah.
Murray Burns.
It's amazing, 100 different sounds.
They're all awful.
Yeah. You've got 10 good ones, haven't you, sounds?
That's the idea of it sounds fucking awful.
Nothing's changed, has it? Remember the Led Zeppelin song that we did? Oh yeah. That'll work, that sound. Something like that. Remember that, Paul?
That's Led Zeppelin.
We played that. Did you play that with us? I don't know.
It all really stinks, doesn't it, so far?
In the original version, can you play it to him on the way down? Can you play him the version, the chorus version of the guitar?
Now I'm just showing off. It's also plastic, isn't it?
What about that?
I mean, that's sort of UFO-ish.
Yeah, let's do that.
Gliding squares.
Put that in it.
Maybe I'll just... I'm not going to use that as a pad sound, just use that as a lead sound.
That works.
I don't know. It's the least of the smelly.
Years and years and years and played it.
Would have been heavy though.
Oh, it was double thickness.
Was the sides of it were that
He
thick,
made it-
MDF?
He wanted a double thickness, so you'd have the quad and the WB or cabin, whatever it
Yeah.
was, down underneath and that on top. But
Why
no,
would you need that for stage sound? Overkill. Because
Oh,
everything was
was
mic'd
bloody
up
overkill.
anyway.
What do you want a Marshall stack for? Because it fucking looks shit hot.
We've changed everything.
By the way, this is actually he's changed everything.
I'm from Australia, mate.
Can we just run through from the start to the finish of that song?
Yeah.
And then, unless you,
6 o'clock.
and then we're done.
Okay. I think that's. I'm not mucking around, but I think that sound works better than anything so far.
No, you're better.
No, you are though.
You're better.
But you need to be.
Right, let's pull her down. Neil, we just wondered if you do one more with favour.
Yeah.
We've just been doing video commentary.
So the last gig we did in Australia, like, it was quite tough over there. Like, Neil Burns had been sick. In New Zealand, you know, you would spend a whole week in a pub, and you know, set up for the week. One setup, breakdown, drive Sunday. You know, I mean, it wasn't that easy because there was carless days, and you know, there was all sorts of problems with getting fuel on a Sunday. You couldn't buy it. And you had to get an exemption, and you know, we'd stop at a cockie's farm and ask him if we could buy fuel. But it was the only day we could travel, and quite often we'd work a Monday till Saturday, but usually it was definitely Tuesday. Getting to Australia, you were playing one night. You had to have a road crew, and you know, like, or two of the guys had to go and help do a lug-in, and it was heavy equipment downstairs, and you know, like big PAs, and we had a really efficient sewer and Vega system in New Zealand, but these were like massive big JBL bins or something. And so we were getting really run down. We didn't seem to be pulling the crowds like we were in New Zealand. It just, and it was, yeah, it was really hard work just doing all of that gigging. And so, like, I think it wore us down at the end, and we decided that, you know, I think, you know, an agency had let us go as well, and we were going to just pull the pin, but we had some, maybe a couple of gigs booked to go, but we got to the Comb and Cutter. Who was we supporting?
Kevin Borich was president.
Kevin Borich. We were supporting Kevin Borich, and towards the end of the set, we might have had 2 or 3 songs to go. Paul had problems with his guitar. There was something with the bridge, or there was something, the settings were, his tuning was wrong, and it was real painful for him, and he was getting really pissed off. And then he went to go to a lead break or something towards the end of the song, and it didn't go right, so he proceeded to smash his guitar up on stage, and he was just like an axe, you know, like Jimi Hendrix, and it wasn't a bloody axe. It wasn't an axe. Yeah, and it was just entirely, it was like smashed to smithereens, and we just kept playing while he was doing this, and the people in the front row were just like, you know, they hadn't seen anything like that before. We hadn't either, you know, we'd never seen it, but we couldn't play on, like, that was it. We had no guitar, and so that was our last gig. And the road crew came in with this pile of kindling, said to Paul, "Would you like your guitar back?" So he did get it back.
Yeah, most of it.
Most of it.
I did. The roadie took it off the stage and put it in the dressing room. That was out of fucking frustration. It wasn't the bloody I'll smash a guitar and be a good act.
Yeah. And that was last time we played together.
There was a couple of girls down the front or something just going,
Yeah, they had the jaw dropped. So the gig we've got coming up is I mean, it's between then and now. That's it. All the years, 37 or something years.
yeah.
And now we got another one. And he's borrowed Neil's guitar, so you know, I hope it goes well.
Yeah.
So after Southo had arrived and we'd had a bit of a 4-piece rehearsal at Gibson Valley, we had to drive down that night to Invercargill to do a sound check at the Civic, and we'd been allocated the last sound check of the night, somewhere around about 11 o'clock in the evening. Dave couldn't make it down, so we had Chris Chilton stand in on bass and do the sound check, which was great. We still hadn't had the full band run through of the songs. We ran through just one song at the sound check and it sounded okay. And it was there that Lindsay Moffat, one of the guys at the club, at the Musicians Club, suggested that his band had a rehearsal space at Gus Johnson's, and did we want to have a rehearsal there if we could get Dave there, you know, a few hours before the gig the next day. And you know, luckily that happened.
Dave
Hi.
Gent, leaving now.
Fantastic. He's on his way.
Yep.
Why don't we? Do you want to see if we can get to the gig? Why couldn't we get to the gig? Actually, go and play there.
Where?
Well, because
There's no one there. You can't get in.
Well, they're not the other band.
No, it's not till 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're doing it. They're doing. Jason Kearson's doing it. They're only doing one rehearsal. You can't get in. No.
so
So we'll plan.
he's
for...
going to be 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
What is it now?
It's 10 to 1.
Are you kidding me?
Okay,
That's
Lindsay
fine.
Moffat.
Okay, so let's
You gotta
go.
take his daughter up, eh?
Yeah, she's on.
Let's bring him on. Give it up for Airstrike.
Started all over again. Aussies today were complaining about the heat the last 2 days. We've had so much fun putting this together over the last couple of days. Honey, putting the band back together. I'd like to dedicate this song to our good friend Neil Burns. Hope you can hear it. a bunch. That's rock and roll right there. It's a song Paul wrote. Watch
Oscars. Good night.
Airstrike, everyone. Airstrike. Thanks, boys.
Trying to find if there's maybe I can. They're all in similar patches. Well, one good song, one on there anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go. This one.
Well, that would work. We were doing You Can't Always Get What You Want.
We've got 15 minutes. No pressure.
Before we have to start packing up.
We'll just do.
That's not bad.
No, you got
So-
time. We're only going to do another run through. It's fine.
So we don't got
It's
UFOs.
important that you get the sounds.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, you never make it.
Well, yeah, level 6 or something.
5, 6, 7, 8. No, we're right.
When are we going to eat?
Well, later. We'll have to eat later.
What I'll do is I'll stay in with the pad.
That's pretty.
That'll be.
We can fuck around with it.
It'd be good to have a sound that sort of sounds like the era too, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Like, Do you know this keyboard at all now?
The particular sounds that we like tomorrow.
I just want to do. Yeah, if I could just get one for this first song. Well, that'll do. That'll do.
That'll do
first
for
one.
now.
That'll do.